Did this girl lie about being raped on TikTok, or are people just overanalyzing her story? A young lady by the name of Mirabel is currently going viral on TikTok after she came out to share the story of how she was raped by a total stranger in her apartment around the 15th of February 2026. The video of her telling this story has since gotten over 10 million views and counting. And whereas a lot of people are sympathizing with her and calling for justice, many people are beginning to call bullshit, citing that there are so much cracks on the walls of her story, indicating that she may have made the whole story up with a high chance that it never happened to her. And the truth of the matter is, there is one evidence that she may not be telling the truth, and it's so damning. So just a little backstory. Mirabel, who lives alone by the way due to the fact that she's an orphan, claims that she suffers from insomnia from time to time, and on this Sunday she was getting high, drinking so that she could find a way to sleep, because that is usually the only way she could sleep whenever she is struggling with sleep. So somehow, some way, she goes to the kitchen or to her door, and that was the moment the said rapist forced their way in, causing her to hit her head on the fridge and passing out. She claims she did not see the person initially, but as the person was leaving, she caught their face and recognized the person to be a total stranger she had seen on 2 separate occasions in her neighborhood. But this is not the craziest part of this story. She reveals that after the whole incident had happened, the said rapist messaged her on TikTok with a burner account, explaining himself and everything he had done to her and why she should not tell anybody about it, and also went into details on the things that he had done to her. In another video, she reveals again that this man, on the 2 occasions she had seen him, he had approached her, and on one occasion he asked for her phone number and she refused. And this is why people are saying that he most likely did it, because the guy asked her for her phone number and she did not give it to him. But this is where people are beginning to call bullshit. Because first thing first, it's quite unusual for a sex offender like this to follow up an incident with a text message on TikTok, because it's not usually normal. They just do it and go. But it seems like this one has some sort of conscience to message her and explain himself. But that is not the major part of this crack, because when you read the message that this said man sent to Mirabel after the fact, people started pointing similarities on how the rapist writes to how Mirabel, the victim, also writes. You see, back in the day, if this was a pen and a paper, we would compare handwritings to see if they are similar. But this is a text message. And the only way to compare handwritings is to see how these people spell their words. And coincidentally, Miracle and the rapist have a very unique way of spelling the word so. S-O, so. The 2-letter word S-O. For some reason, they both seem to spell the word so alike, adding an extra O after the first one. So spelling so with 2 O's is a very, very unique way to spell the 2-letter word so. On 3 different occasions, the offender spelled the word so using 2 O's, and people noticed that. When you go to Mirabel's post on how she writes her caption on 2 different occasions, you'll see that she too herself spells the word so with 2 O's. And this coincidence is very, very indicative that there is a chance that she was the one who sent herself that message. Because had it been that they were friends, had it been that they knew each other, I would understand that friends or colleagues or siblings may pick up how they spell certain words because they chat all the time. But this is a total stranger she said she hadn't had any conversation with. So how on earth are they both spelling a 2-letter word in a very similar fashion? This is just one observation that many people on the internet have pointed out. So is this a coincidence that for some reason she and her offender spell alike? Or is it possible that she made this up and sent herself this long text message to create this narrative? Another crack on the wall that a lot of people are pointing out is the fact that she claimed she had gone to the hospital after the whole incident because she tried to unalive herself by taking sniper. She was rushed to the hospital, and in less than 24 hours, she was discharged because she did make a video in the hospital with a drip or some kind of treatment in her hand. Even though people have called out the hospital for looking like someone's abandoned village compound. A lot of people are saying it looks strange, it looks staged, it looks off, and it doesn't look like a hospital, as no nurse was in sight, nor was there a doctor. Another crack on the wall that people are pointing out is the fact that after she made this video, she got all the attention she needed, and a lot of celebrities began reaching out to her to help her and help investigate the case and catch the rapists. But she did not respond to any of them at the initial time. She did claim that she was too traumatized to respond to VDM or respond to other celebrities or notable people who had reached out to her to help. There was even an NGO who started begging people online to help find the girl. And for someone who had just gone through this, you would hope that she would rush in the opportunity to get help. But unfortunately, it was a delayed process for her to warm up to people who wanted to help her. Eventually, she did respond to VDM and did a video call in which VDM shared. And in that video chat, we see her explain herself. And VDM did ask her for hospital reports, doctor's reports, given what had happened to her. But unfortunately, she only mentioned that she went to the hospital to be treated for the sniper she took. However, for the initial act that unfortunately happened to her, it may have not been addressed by the doctors she went to see. The only thing she mentioned about that is that she was asked to sit on hot water, as that would help the healing process for whatever physical trauma that the perpetrator had caused on her, which is quite detailed and graphic because it includes a razor blade, some sort of face blade per se. It's such an unfortunate incident, and to have people online scrutinize her, well, it's usually not uncommon to see rape victims get questioned a lot, and this is why many women don't come forward with their story. However, for the case of Mirabel, there really is a crack on the wall, and I think that will be explained for some reason. The good thing is VDM has inserted himself and has offered to help her. It's unclear where she stays or where she lives, but he has mentioned that he could help fly her to Abuja so that she could get proper care from professional medical doctors. So I don't know where she is or where she stays, but it's being mentioned now that VDM in the video call is offering to get her flown to Abuja to get proper care and help hopefully get more details to finding the person who had done this to her. But the good thing here is, according to a narrative and a story, there seems to be an obvious marker that would clearly show whether or not she's telling the truth, because she did claim that the offender did something very unique with a face blade to her. And I think that is going to be what, if she goes to see a doctor, that would be what would be checked, along with other things, including STIs and maybe anything that would probably implicate her health. That is going to be a marker, that is going to be a thing, because if a doctor would check her and not see any of such a thing, it's going to raise questions. Another thing is, why would she want to lie about such unfortunate incidents? Truth of the matter is, in as much as women are usually the victims of such tragedy, we have seen cases of women making scenarios up like this. Unfortunately, there have been many instances where this accusation of forceful entry are usually made up, either to lie on somebody or to get out of something. But for her case, it's unclear what it is. Is it for attention? Is it for clout? Or was she just piggybacking off a previous story that was already trending? Another thing to also note, it's unclear if this makes any difference. In a previous video, she had indicated being attracted to women. So if she is a lesbian, this could also be indicative of the narrative that lesbian women are usually targeted by guys who force themselves on them, which would explain why she didn't care to give her number to the guy, because she wasn't into him. Another way to look at it too is that she's an orphan who had recently just buried her mother, and it's being said she doesn't have any family members. So Could this be a way of raising money? Because in another video, we see her friends trying to garner help and asked people to send money because she had her account number pasted on the screen. So, unfortunately, there are a few motives as to why she may want to make this up. However, all of these are just social media analyzing. This does not justify or prove that she's lying, because at the end of the day, it's a claim. It's a claim that is very serious and it needs thorough investigation. Hopefully, with this attention she has gotten, she's open to be investigated, she's open to go get help, she's open to go get checked, and she's open to get her story clear. Now, for my own personal thoughts. Everything to me is a possibility. Is she lying? That is a possibility. Is she telling the truth? A very high possibility. I have grown not to doubt women who come out with the story of being raped, because it is more than likely to happen. I've even said it in our previous video with a similar story, that it's a thing that leads to women being killed all the time, because the rapists are usually trying to avoid being named, mentioned, identified, and arrested. So they kill their victims. And if she survives it, she's lucky. It's a great thing. Thank God for that. But this is my thoughts. The only thing damning that I see and I agree with is the way she writes. If the way she writes so is the same way the said rapist is writing so, then that is a problem, because that indicates that she most likely created that whole message, which is also somewhat self-glorifying, because it kept giving her some kind of admirable praises, especially for somebody who had seen her twice and did not know where she stays. And the person did not also stay in that area according to her. So that is just one thing. The handwriting on the wall is where I think there is a problem. The hospital itself, I don't know where she stays. It's possible that wherever she lives, they don't have proper care. But the video of her coming out of a compound that is said to be a hospital, it's looking a bit compoundy. It's looking like a compound. It doesn't look like a hospital. It probably looks like a abandoned family home from the 90s that people now inhabit. So I don't know. That doesn't look like a hospital, but it could be a clinic or some sort. For me, everything she does from here onward is going to indicate whether or not she's telling the truth or whether or not she's lying. With people already pointing out these cracks on the wall, I get she has something to defend, which is unfortunate. Not the best position to put someone, but again, she brought the story out and she is posting it and she is updating us. So she got to answer this question. Sadly, she just would have to, because many people who would want to support would want to know the truth. Because it's not uncommon for people to come out here and lie about this stuff. So it's sad that we are putting a victim in a situation like this, but it gotta have to be that way so that people are not being played with or laughed at or used, so that for future occurrences, God forbid, more women can feel safe to come out and share their story and get the justice they deserve. If people are lying with such a thing, then it's going to make more people, especially on big social media platforms, doubt future victims. And that is why I feel holding her accountable to these cracks on the wall is important. We believe her, but if there is questions to be answered, she may have to answer it, which includes all the doubts and questions being thrown at her, unfortunately. But another theory I can actually use my head to help balance it is that maybe this had happened to her. Even though she is lying about the story, I don't think it's coming from a place of clout. I feel like most victims of such instances usually draw this narrative out of a previous trauma. It could be that something similar may have happened to her in the past, and she's now only trying to deal with it now by creating a whole different narrative as such. So it's possible. It's very possible. If it indeed comes out that she made all this up, or she stops responding to people's questions and she starts looking more suspicious, I feel like it could be a thing of her just dealing with something that may have happened in the past, and that is also a way, that she could get out of it if indeed it comes out that this did not happen. Because most victims even with being robbed or being beaten, being attacked. People deal with certain traumas over the years, and eventually, when they feel comfortable, they do try to tell a story. Sometimes in the second person, sometimes they will tell it as though it's their friend that told them, just so they can put it out there and put their experience and maybe get the sympathy they didn't get back then. So it is some kind of psychological explanation as to maybe if she is making this up, it could be a way of dealing with something that has happened to her in the past. It's just how I see it. I guess it's just to be on an even balanced side. It could most likely be that it has never happened to her and this is just her trying to get attention. Same possibility. But I do hope she gets the help. I do hope it's investigated. The one fairly good thing that is helping this story, and I think if it comes out that she is indeed not telling a truth, is that she never named a perpetrator. She didn't accuse a young man. She didn't put a name out there. She didn't put a face. That would have most likely helped her case, because now we know somebody to hold, arrest, beat, find, and deal with, as in the case of the previous TikToker who shared her story. But imagine she's lying or telling a false story and then she puts a name and a face out there. By now, with the internet's attention, whoever that guy is, nobody would even listen to him and he would be destroyed. And that would be a worst case if it comes out that she was telling a lie, because she would have used it to destroy another man's life. But so far that the story is neutral and we are yet to know the name or see the face or whoever may have done this to her, it's helpful so that the investigation can be done thoroughly and the person can eventually be fished out. And then it's a done deal, as compared to her lying on somebody, whereas this is not a true story. So even if it comes out that she is not telling the truth, she goes down alone, and nobody suffered apart from her and the people who helped her push this narrative. So that's just what I would say.